Before we begin, take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, hold it gently, and now breathe out slowly through your mouth. Let your shoulders soften, let your jaw unclench. Take one more breath in, longer this time, and release it, as if the day is slowly leaving your body. Tonight's story is called Ancient People Slept Closer to Fire and It Calmed Their Brain. And before we go any further, I want to ask you something gently. As you listen right now, where are you watching or listening from? Your bed, a couch, a chair, or somewhere unexpected? If you feel like it, tell us in the comments. Now, let's begin. Long before beds existed, long before houses had walls, long before silence became something we expected at night, there was fire, not as a tool, not as technology, but as comfort. Fire was not just warmth, it was reassurance. For ancient humans, sleep did not begin with lying down. It began with gathering close enough to feel heat on the skin, close enough to see the soft movement of flame, close enough to know that the darkness had been pushed back, at least a little. Tonight, we're going to explore something deeply forgotten. Why ancient people slept near fire. Why it made them calmer. Why it helped their brains rest. And why, even today, your nervous system still responds to it. To understand this, we need to travel back farther than history books usually go. Back before villages, back before written language, back before clocks, alarms, and schedules. Back to nights that were truly dark. When the sun disappeared, the world did not glow. There were no streetlights, no screens, no distant hum of machines, just darkness. And in that darkness, the human brain did not feel relaxed. It felt alert. Because for most of human evolution, night was dangerous. Predators hunted after sunset. Temperatures dropped fast. Visibility vanished. Sleep was not guaranteed. And so the human brain learned something important. Darkness alone is not safe. But fire changed that. When fire entered human life, something profound happened inside the brain. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for fear, began to quiet. Not completely, but enough. Fire created a boundary, a circle of light. Inside that circle, the brain felt different. Heart rate slowed, breathing softened, muscles loosened. Not because danger disappeared, but because danger felt contained. Ancient people did not sleep far from fire. They slept with it, round it, near it, within reach of its warmth and light. And importantly, they did not sleep deeply at first. They rested, they leaned, they sat, they half-dozed. This mattered. Because fire produces something modern bedrooms do not: rhythm. The flame flickers. It moves unpredictably, but gently. The brain follows it without effort. Modern neuroscience now understands this as a form of soft attention. The mind is engaged, but not stimulated. Focused, but not tense. Ancient humans didn't know the term, but their bodies knew the feeling. Fire gave the brain something to rest on, and as the brain rested, sleep arrived naturally. Not forced, not demanded, invited. This is why ancient sleep was rarely silent. There were crackles, soft pops, low murmurs of voices, wind moving nearby. Silence, as we expect it today, was rare. And yet, sleep came. Because safety does not require silence. It requires predictability. And fire was predictable. It stayed where it was placed. It moved within limits. It created a constant sensory anchor. The brain could relax because it knew where its attention belonged. Now think about modern sleep. Dark room. No sound. No movement. The brain is left alone with its own thoughts. And for many people, those thoughts do not feel safe. Ancient people did not lie alone with nothing to focus on. Fire shared the night with them. Another important detail. Ancient people did not lie flat close to fire. They sat slightly upright. They leaned back. They arranged their bodies so heat could reach them without overwhelming them. This posture mattered. Upright or semi-upright positions keep the airway open, keep the chest expanded, keep breathing steady. Combined with warmth, this posture sent powerful signals to the nervous system. You are supported. You are not collapsing. You are not trapped. That feeling of support is essential for calm. Fire also regulated temperature, which is deeply connected to sleep. As night cooled, fire prevented sudden drops in body temperature. The brain hates sudden changes. Consistency equals safety, and safety equals rest. This is why even today people fall asleep easily near fireplaces, or campfires, or videos of fires. Your brain remembers. It doesn't remember in words, it remembers in sensation. Warmth on skin, soft light in vision, gentle movement to track. These things lower cortisol, they increase melatonin, they tell the brain, you can stop scanning now. And ancient people took full advantage of this. They positioned themselves carefully, not too close, not too far. Close enough to feel warmth on the face, far enough to breathe easily. Children slept closest. Elders leaned back. Adults rotated positions. This shared sleep environment mattered. Humans are social sleepers. Isolation is a modern idea. For ancient people, sleeping alone was rare and often unsafe. Fire allowed group sleep, and group sleep created another calming effect. Shared vigilance. No one needed to stay fully awake all night. Responsibility was distributed. This lowered individual stress. Lower stress means lighter sleep works better. Now here's something modern. Sleep advice rarely mentions. Deep sleep is not always the goal. Ancient people did not aim for total unconsciousness. They aimed for enough rest, enough recovery, enough calm. And fire helped regulate that balance. If something moved beyond the light, the brain noticed. If the fire dimmed, someone adjusted it. Sleep flowed in waves. Rest, wakefulness, rest again. And upright sleeping made this possible. It allowed quick awareness without shock. The brain never felt trapped. This is critical. Many modern sleep problems come from a feeling of helplessness. I must sleep now. I cannot wake up. I am stuck here. Ancient sleep had no such pressure. Fire created flexibility. Now consider this carefully. When humans moved indoors, fire moved with them. Hearths, fireplaces, stoves, even candles. Sleep remained close to fire for thousands of years. Only recently did we remove fire completely from the sleep environment, and with it, we removed warmth rhythms, light rhythms, and sensory grounding. We replaced fire with darkness and silence. For some brains, that works. For many, it does not. This is why night lights, salt lamps, warm lighting, and fire simulations help people sleep today. They are not tricks. They are ancient cues. Your brain is not broken. It is old. And it remembers a time when sleep happened in circles of light. When we left off, we were sitting beside the fire, not rushing, not forcing sleep, just resting. And that's exactly where ancient sleep truly began. Because fire did something far deeper than keep bodies warm. It shaped the human brain, not in one lifetime, but over thousands of generations. To understand this, we need to talk about something subtle, something invisible, attention. The human brain is always paying attention to something, even in sleep, especially in sleep. Modern life pulls attention aggressively. Screens flash, sounds demand reaction, thoughts chase outcomes. Ancient nights were different. Attention moved slowly. Fire didn't shout, it whispered. A flame rises, then bends, then settles. The brain follows it effortlessly. This is what modern neuroscience now calls low-frequency visual engagement. It sounds technical, but the experience is simple. Your eyes are occupied, but your mind is not strained. This matters more than we realize. Because when attention softens, the nervous system shifts. the sympathetic system, the one responsible for alertness and readiness, begins to step back. And the parasympathetic system, the one responsible for rest and digestion, moves forward. Ancient people didn't know these terms. They didn't need to. Their bodies learned the pattern. Fire meant safety. Safety meant lowered vigilance. Lowered vigilance allowed rest. But fire alone wasn't enough. Something else always accompanied it. Stories. Before books. Before writing. Before entertainment. Stories lived beside fire. And these stories were not dramatic in the modern sense. They were slow, repetitive, familiar. The same tales told again and again. This repetition mattered, because novelty wakes the brain. Familiarity calms it. Ancient stories did not aim to surprise, they aimed to soothe. The voice telling them was low, steady, unhurried, often spoken while people sat upright, leaning, resting. The posture mattered again. Sitting or semi-reclined positions keep the chest open. Breathing stays smooth, no compression, no collapse. Combined with warmth and voice, the brain entered a unique state. Not fully awake, not fully asleep, a drifting state. Modern science might call this hypnagogia, the threshold between wakefulness and sleep. But ancient people lived there regularly. They didn't rush past it. They let it linger. And because of that, sleep came naturally. Think about modern bedtime routines. People often lie down and try to shut the mind off completely. Silence, darkness, stillness. But the brain doesn't always want emptiness. Sometimes it wants something gentle to hold on to. Ancient fire and stories provided that. The flame gave the eyes something soft to follow. The story gave the mind something predictable to rest against. No cliffhangers, no sudden changes, just continuity. This combination slowed brain waves, from fast alert beta waves into slower alpha waves, then eventually into theta waves. This transition is critical. Many modern sleep problems happen because the brain never slows gradually. It goes from overstimulation to sudden silence. Ancient nights never did that. They faded. Now let's talk about sound. Fire makes sound. Quiet crackles, soft pops, low, irregular rhythm. These sounds are important. They are non-threatening noise. The brain listens, but it doesn't interpret danger. This teaches the nervous system that sound does not always mean threat. Modern silence can be unsettling, especially for brains shaped by millions of years of listening at night. Total silence can make the brain alert, listening for something. Fire prevented that. It filled the night with gentle unpredictability, enough to occupy the mind, not enough to activate fear. And then there was smell. Burning wood releases compounds that subtly affect the brain. Some studies suggest certain wood smoke components lower anxiety responses. Ancient people didn't analyze this. They experienced it. Fire wasn't sterile. It was sensory. Warmth, light, sound, smell, all together. This full sensory environment anchored the mind in the present. Modern bedrooms often remove sensation, neutral colours, artificial light, filtered air. The brain is left floating. Ancient sleep grounded the brain. Now let's return to posture. Why didn't ancient people lie flat near fire? Because fire radiates upward. Sitting allowed heat to reach the chest and face. It prevented overheating, and it maintained readiness. But more importantly, upright posture sends a psychological signal. I am resting, not surrendering. This matters deeply to the brain. Complete surrender requires complete safety. Ancient environments rarely provided that. Upright sleep balanced calm and awareness. The brain didn't fight sleep because it didn't feel trapped. This is why many people today sleep better in recliners, or with elevated headboards, or sitting slightly upright during illness. Their brain feels supported. Ancient people lived in this state often. Now consider children. Children slept closest to fire. not lying flat, curled, leaning, supported by adults. This early experience shaped the brain. Warmth plus presence equals safety. That association never disappears. It becomes part of the nervous system's blueprint. This is why warmth remains calming today. Heating pads, warm blankets, hot drinks before bed, they all echo ancient fire. Another forgotten element is timing. Ancient people did not go to sleep at a fixed hour. They followed darkness and fatigue. Fire extended the evening gently, not to work longer, but to transition. As the fire dimmed, voices softened, movement slowed, sleep approached gradually. No alarms, no pressure. Modern sleep often fails because it is scheduled, not felt. Ancient sleep was responsive, and fire acted as the regulator. Now let's address something important. Ancient people did not sleep deeply all night. And that was okay. They rested deeply. They slept lightly. They woke. They slept again. Fire made this pattern comfortable. If someone woke, they were not disoriented. The fire was still there. The environment hadn't vanished. Modern awakenings can feel shocking. Darkness, silence, disconnection. Ancient awakenings felt gentle. This prevented anxiety, and anxiety is one of sleep's greatest enemies. Another subtle effect of fire was how it affected time perception. Without clocks, time was not measured precisely. Fire burned at its own pace. This slowed mental urgency. Modern clocks create pressure. Ancient fire dissolved it. The brain didn't rush, and a brain that doesn't rush sleeps more easily. Now here's something fascinating. Many modern sleep aids replicate fire unknowingly. White noise, ambient light, sleep stories. They recreate ancient cues. The success of these tools is not accidental. They work because they align with ancient brain expectations. Your brain doesn't crave modern perfection. It craves ancient familiarity. Fire gave the brain a reference point, something stable in an unstable world. And stability is the foundation of rest. As the fire burned low, something quiet happened inside the body. Not suddenly, not dramatically, slowly. The ancient human brain began to change its chemistry. Sleep does not arrive by force, it arrives by timing. And fire, surprisingly, helped humans understand time long before clocks existed. To understand this, we need to talk about light, not modern light, not artificial light, but firelight. Fire produces a very specific kind of glow. It is warm, it is low, it flickers, and most importantly, it lacks the harsh blue wavelength that modern lighting floods into the brain. The human brain is extremely sensitive to light. Light tells the brain what time it is. Daylight suppresses melatonin, the hormone that makes us sleepy. Darkness allows melatonin to rise. Fire sits gently in between. It is light, but not threatening light. It does not tell the brain it's daytime. It tells the brain the night is safe. This distinction matters. Ancient humans lived almost entirely by this natural signal. When the sun went down, melatonin began to rise. Fire did not stop this process. It softened it. The flame allowed activity without alertness, conversation without stimulation, rest without collapse. This created a smooth hormonal transition. No sudden spikes, no confusion. Modern lighting does the opposite. Bright bulbs, screens, LEDs flood the brain with blue light. The brain thinks the sun is still up. Melatonin is delayed. Sleep becomes harder. Ancient fire never confused the brain. It cooperated with biology. Another important detail is heat. Melatonin release is closely tied to body temperature. As the body cools slightly, sleep becomes easier. Fire helped regulate this process. At night, temperatures dropped quickly. Fire prevented sudden cold stress, but it didn't overheat the body. People slept at the edge of warmth. This allowed the core temperature to slowly decline. That slow decline is a powerful sleep signal. Modern homes often disrupt this. Rooms are overheated, temperature remains constant, the brain loses a key cue. Ancient sleep environments were dynamic. Warmth faded, fire dimmed, the body followed. Now consider posture again. Upright or semi-upright sleeping helps regulate breathing. Breathing influences the vagus nerve, a major calming pathway in the body. Slow, steady breathing activates relaxation. Fire encouraged this. People sat, leaned. Their chest stayed open. Breathing remained natural. This enhanced melatonin's effect. Sleep arrived without struggle. Ancient people didn't try to optimize sleep. They allowed conditions to do the work. Another overlooked factor is eye exposure. Firelight is gentle on the eyes. It does not overstimulate. The pupils relax. Eye strain is minimal. This tells the brain that vigilance is not required. Modern screens strain the eyes. Strain signals effort. Effort delays sleep. Ancient eyes softened into the night. Now let's talk about rhythm again. Fire is never static. It shifts constantly, but slowly. This slow movement synchronizes with the brain's natural rhythms. The brain mirrors what it sees. Fast movement equals alertness. Slow movement equals calm. Fire's motion gently entrains the brain towards slower waves. This is why watching flames feels hypnotic. It is not magic. It is biology. Ancient people experienced this nightly. Their brains were trained to associate fire with rest. This association became embedded, passed down, generation after generation. Now think about modern sleep problems. People often lie in darkness with racing thoughts. No anchor, no rhythm, no warmth variation. The brain has nothing to follow except itself. Ancient sleep gave the brain external cues. It didn't have to work so hard. Now here's something subtle. Ancient people did not fear waking up. If someone stirred, the fire was still there. The environment was familiar. This prevented panic. Melatonin remained steady. Sleep returned. Modern awakenings often break melatonin flow. Bright clocks, phones, sudden light. The hormone drops. Sleep becomes fragile. Ancient awakenings were gentle. The fire kept the night intact. Another factor is social synchronization. Groups slept together near fire. Their rhythms aligned. Breathing patterns synchronized. Movements slowed together. This collective calm reinforced individual calm. Humans are social regulators. We borrow calm from each other. Fire made this possible. Modern sleep isolates. Isolation increases mental noise. Ancient sleep shared silence and sound. Now consider seasonal changes. In winter, fire burned longer. Sleep patterns adjusted. In summer, fire faded earlier. Sleep shortened. Ancient sleep adapted naturally. No forcing, no rigid schedule. The circadian rhythm followed nature. Fire acted as a bridge. Not a replacement for the sun, a transition. Now here's something modern science confirms. Melatonin release is enhanced by environments that feel safe. Safety is subjective. Ancient brains learned that fire meant safety. This emotional association boosted hormonal response. Modern bedrooms often feel sterile, clean but emotionally empty. Ancient sleep environments were alive, warm, shared, familiar. This emotional warmth mattered. Now think about children again. Children near fire fell asleep easily. Their brains learned early that warmth and light meant rest. This pattern followed them into adulthood. Modern children often sleep alone in dark rooms. The brain learned something different. Darkness plus isolation. For some, this is fine. For others, it creates tension. Ancient sleep environments taught trust. Now, let's address a common myth. Fire does not ruin sleep. Harsh, artificial light does. Firelight is fundamentally different. It aligns with the brain's evolutionary expectations. This is why candlelight dinners feel relaxing, why fireplaces feel cozy, why people sleep better camping. The body recognizes the pattern. Now imagine something. You're sitting near a fire. The flame is low. The night is quiet but not silent. Your body is warm. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts stretch out. This is not imagination. This is memory. Your nervous system remembers this environment, and it still responds. By now, we've seen how fire shaped warmth, how it guided attention, and how it helped the brain release sleep hormones naturally. But there is something even deeper we haven't explored yet. Something ancient people understood instinctively. Something modern humans often struggle with. Darkness. Today, darkness makes many people uncomfortable. Complete darkness feels empty, uncertain, sometimes even threatening. But for most of human history, darkness was not the enemy. Uncontrolled darkness was, and fire changed that completely. Ancient humans did not try to eliminate darkness at night. They contained it. Fire created a boundary, a soft edge between what was known and what was unknown. Inside that circle of light, the brain could relax. Outside it, the world could remain wild. This balance mattered deeply. The human brain evolved to scan its environment constantly. At night, this scanning becomes more intense. Predators hunted in darkness. Unexpected movement meant danger. Total darkness meant uncertainty. But fire gave the brain reference points. Light, warmth, sound. These cues told the nervous system, you are not alone. You're not exposed. You are aware enough. This is important because sleep does not require unconsciousness. It requires safety. And ancient people felt safer with some light than with none at all. This is where modern sleep culture often gets it wrong. Today we aim for absolute darkness, blackout curtains, no light at all. For some people this works, but for many others it quietly increases vigilance. The brain listens harder, the mind scans more. Ancient sleep environments were never pitch black. Firelight flickered, shadows moved gently. The brain learned that movement did not always mean threat. This reduced fear, and reduced fear allows rest. Now let's talk about how darkness and fire work together. Firelight does not erase shadows, it softens them. Shadows become slow, predictable, non-threatening. This trained the ancient brain to tolerate ambiguity. Modern humans often struggle with ambiguity. Silence feels uncomfortable. Darkness feels empty. Ancient brains were comfortable in between, not fully illuminated, not fully blind. This in-between state is where calm lives. Another important detail is directional light. Firelight comes from a single source. It creates depth. The brain understands space better. Modern overhead lighting flattens space. Screens remove depth entirely. The ancient brain preferred depth. It helped orientation. And orientation equals safety. People often slept with their backs towards something solid. A rock, a wall, a tree, fire in front. This positioning was intentional. The brain felt protected on one side and aware on the other. This reduced startle responses during sleep. Many modern people unknowingly recreate this. They sleep better with a headboard, or against a wall, or facing the room. The brain still wants structure. Ancient people gave it structure naturally. Now let's talk about night sounds. Darkness amplifies sound. Fire softened this. The crackling created a baseline noise. This masked sudden changes. Sudden silence can be alarming to the brain. Ancient nights were never silent. Wind moved. Fire whispered. People breathed nearby. This constant low-level sound told the brain that nothing had changed. No sudden danger. This stabilized sleep. Modern white noise machines mimic this. Again, not accidentally. They recreate ancient auditory environments. Another factor is shared darkness. Ancient people did not face the night alone. Groups sleeping near fire meant shared awareness. No one carried full responsibility. This reduced mental load. The brain rested more easily. Modern sleep is often solitary. Solitude is not inherently bad, but for a social species, it can increase vigilance. Ancient brains expected presence. Fire symbolized that presence. Now consider children again. Children feared darkness less when fire was present. Light plus warmth, plus adults nearby created emotional safety. This shaped lifelong sleep patterns. Modern fear of darkness often begins in childhood, not because darkness is dangerous, but because it is unfamiliar. Ancient children grew up inside it. Now let's look at why fire didn't overstimulate the brain. Firelight is low in blue wavelengths. Blue light tells the brain to wake up. Fire tells the brain to slow down. This is why candlelight feels relaxing. It doesn't demand attention. It allows it to drift. Ancient people sat watching flames without effort. This passive attention is ideal for sleep onset. Modern attention is active, scrolling, reacting, choosing. Active attention keeps the brain awake. Ancient attention rested. Now something subtle but important. Ancient people did not associate darkness with isolation. Darkness meant rest. Modern humans often associate darkness with being alone. This emotional difference changes how the brain reacts. Fire transformed darkness into companionship. The night felt held. This emotional safety is often missing today. Now think about your own experience. Have you ever slept better with a dim lamp on, or near a fireplace, or while camping? That's not weakness. That's memory. Your brain recognizes ancient conditions. It relaxes into them. Another key point is control. Fire was controllable. It could be fed, adjusted, moved. Darkness alone is uncontrollable. Control reduces anxiety. Ancient people felt agency at night. They were not passive victims of darkness. They shaped it. Modern sleep often removes agency. Lights off, door closed, silence enforced. For some brains, this feels restrictive. Ancient sleep felt flexible. Now let's address something important. Ancient people did not sleep deeply all at once. They hovered between rest and awareness. Fire supported this state, and this state reduced nightmares. Nightmares often arise from sudden loss of control. Ancient sleep never fully let go. The brain stayed gently anchored. This reduced panic responses. Modern sleep dives deep suddenly. For anxious minds, this can be destabilizing. Ancient sleep was gradual. Now imagine this. You're sitting near a low fire. The darkness exists, but it does not press in. Your eyes adjust. Your body feels where it is. Your mind does not rush. This is not fantasy. This is how humans slept for tens of thousands of years, and the brain has not forgotten. As the fire burned lower, something important happened in ancient nights. Not everyone slept at the same time, and this was not a flaw. It was a system. Modern sleep culture assumes that the correct way to sleep is for everyone to be unconscious at once. Lights off, doors closed, total surrender. But ancient people rarely did this. Instead, they practiced something far more subtle: shared rest. Near the fire, some people slept lightly. Others rested with eyes closed, and some remained awake, not tense, not alert, just present. This practice is often called night watch, but that name can be misleading. It wasn't military, it wasn't stressful, it was natural. The human brain evolved in groups. For most of history, being the only fully unconscious person would have been dangerous. But sharing responsibility made rest possible. If one person stirred, others remained calm. The group absorbed uncertainty together. This reduced fear, and fear is the greatest enemy of sleep. Ancient people did not expect sleep to remove awareness completely. They expected it to soften awareness. This is a crucial difference. Modern sleep often fails because the brain resists total shutdown. Ancient sleep never demanded it. Now let's talk about rotation. People did not stay awake all night. They took turns, a period of rest, a period of light sleep, a period of quiet wakefulness, often near the fire, often sitting or reclining. This rhythm followed the body's natural cycles. When melatonin peaked, people slept more deeply. When it dipped slightly, they stirred. No alarms, no judgment, just rhythm. This pattern prevented sleep anxiety. No one worried about waking up too early. Waking was expected, neutral, safe. And because waking was not feared, sleep returned easily. Modern insomnia often begins with panic. I woke up. Something is wrong. Ancient people never thought this way. Now consider the psychological effect of presence. Knowing that someone else is awake reduces the brain's need to stay vigilant. The nervous system relaxes, heart rate lowers, muscles soften. Sleep arrives without resistance. This is why people often sleep better when someone else is in the room, even if they don't talk, even if they don't touch. Presence alone calms the brain. Ancient sleep environments were rich in presence. Fire, people, sound, warmth. Modern sleep removes all of this. Isolation increases mental load. The brain feels responsible for everything. Ancient brains shared responsibility. Now let's look at children again. Children slept knowing adults were nearby. Someone was always awake or lightly resting. This built deep trust. Trust that the night was handled. This trust shaped the nervous system. Many modern adults struggle with sleep because their nervous system never learned that the night is safe. Ancient systems taught safety early. Another important aspect is movement. People near fire shifted positions, sat, leaned, stretched. Sleep was not rigid. Micro movements were normal. This prevented stiffness, improved circulation, and reduced pain. Modern sleep often punishes movement. Mattresses encourage stillness. Ancient rest encouraged responsiveness. Now let's talk about sound again, but from a different angle. People quietly talked during night watches. Soft conversation, low voices. This wasn't disruptive, it was regulating. The brain uses voice tone to assess safety. Calm voices signal calm conditions. Even half-asleep brains listen. This lowered baseline stress. Modern sleep often eliminates human sound. Silence can amplify internal noise. Ancient nights balanced both. Now consider dreams. Ancient people didn't separate dreaming from waking sharply. Dreams faded slowly into wakefulness. People discussed them, interpreted them. This reduced confusion. Dreams didn't feel invasive. They felt integrated. Modern dreams often end abruptly. Alarm sounds, bright lights. The brain is shocked awake. This can leave lingering stress. Ancient awakenings were soft. Fire was still there. The environment hadn't changed. Now let's address something subtle. Ancient people did not label themselves as bad sleepers. There was no identity attached to sleep. No self-judgment. Sleep was fluid. Some nights were lighter, some deeper. All were acceptable. Modern sleep culture creates performance pressure. Pressure activates the nervous system. Ancient sleep removed pressure. An upright or semi-upright rest fit perfectly into this mindset. If you were tired, you rested. If sleep came, it came. If not, you remained present. No failure. This mental flexibility allowed the body to relax. Now think about safety cues again. Fire provided visual safety. People provided social safety. Routine provided temporal safety. The brain needs all three. Modern sleep often offers none. Now imagine this scene. A small group sits near a fire. One person leans back, eyes closed. Another watches the flame quietly. Someone shifts position. A soft sound of wood cracking. Breathing slows. No one rushes. No one worries. Sleep drifts in and out. This is not chaos. This is coordination. And the human brain evolved inside this pattern. As the night deepened, and the fire continued to glow softly, something quiet happened inside the ancient mind. Sleep was no longer just rest. It became processing. Ancient people didn't think about dreams the way we do today. They didn't analyze them scientifically. They didn't ignore them either. Dreams were not entertainment. They were not random noise. They were part of how the mind made sense of the world, and fire played a powerful role in this, not by changing dreams directly, but by changing how people entered and exited sleep. Modern sleep often drops the mind straight into deep unconsciousness. Ancient sleep moved gradually, from wakefulness to drifting, to light sleep, to deeper rest, and back again. This gradual transition mattered, because the brain processes emotions best when it is not forced. Fire created a gentle boundary between waking and dreaming. People drifted into dreams while still partially aware of their surroundings. This reduced fear. Many modern nightmares are intensified because the brain loses all reference points. Ancient dreamers always had anchors: warmth, light, sound, presence. Dreams unfolded inside safety. This changed their emotional impact. Ancient dreams were often calmer, not because life was easier, but because the mind felt held. Firelight softened the edges of consciousness. Dream imagery blended with reality. The crackle of wood became part of the dream, the flicker of flame-shaped visual imagery. This created smoother emotional transitions. Modern dreams are often abrupt. Scenes jump, emotions spike. Ancient dreams flowed. Now let's talk about memory. Sleep is when the brain sorts memory. It decides what to keep and what to let fade. Fire-supported sleep helped this process. Because awakenings were gentle, memories had time to settle. People woke briefly, reflected, then slept again. This reinforced emotional learning. Modern sleep often cuts this process short. Alarms interrupt memory consolidation. Stress hormones rise. Ancient sleep allowed memory to complete its cycle. Now consider trauma. Ancient life included danger, loss, and uncertainty. But trauma was processed communally. People didn't wake alone from distressing dreams. Someone was nearby. Fire was visible. The environment confirmed safety. This reduced long-term stress responses. Modern trauma is often processed in isolation. The brain struggles alone. Ancient systems distributed emotional load. Fire symbolized continuity. Even when the mind wandered into fear, the environment said, "You are still here." This mattered deeply. Another important element is time spent awake at night. Ancient people didn't fear night wakefulness. They used it, quietly, reflecting, praying, sitting near fire. This allowed emotional digestion. Modern culture labels night waking as failure. Ancient culture saw it as part of the cycle. This acceptance prevented rumination. Rumination is when the mind loops. Ancient minds didn't loop as much. They released. Now think about body position again. Upright or semi-reclined posture keeps the nervous system balanced. The body doesn't collapse. The mind doesn't panic. This is ideal for emotional processing. Fully flat positions can intensify vulnerability. Ancient people avoided that when emotions were heavy. They leaned, they sat, they stayed supported. This posture allowed dreams to remain lighter. Lighter dreams are easier to integrate. Now let's talk about fire as a symbol. Fire represented continuity. It burned through generations. Stories were told beside it. Rituals formed around it. The brain associated fire with identity. This anchored the sense of self. Modern sleep sometimes dissolves identity too quickly. People wake disoriented. Ancient sleep preserved continuity. Now here's something subtle. Ancient people did not separate night from meaning. Night was not wasted time. It was reflective time. Dreams were discussed. Insights shared. This gave emotional value to sleep. Modern sleep is often purely functional. Get rest. Be productive. Meaning is absent. Meaning reduces anxiety. Ancient sleep carried meaning. Fire was central to that meaning. Another point is breathing. Fire encouraged slow breathing. People matched breath to flame movement. Slow breath calms the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This reduced emotionally charged dreams. Modern breathing is often shallow at night. Screens encourage chest breathing. Ancient nights encouraged depth. Now imagine an ancient person waking from a dream. The fire is still glowing. The same people are nearby. Nothing has changed. The dream fades gently. The emotion settles. The brain doesn't cling. Modern awakenings often remove all context. Dark room, silence, isolation. The brain holds on to emotion longer. Ancient systems let it go. Now let's address a common misunderstanding. Ancient people did not sleep poorly. They slept differently. Their sleep was lighter in places, but emotionally richer. And emotional processing matters as much as physical rest. Many modern people are rested but emotionally exhausted. Ancient people were often physically tired but mentally steadier. Fire contributed to this balance. It slowed the mind without numbing it. Now notice something. As you listen to this, your thoughts may be moving more slowly. That's not coincidence. Your brain is responding to the same patterns it evolved with. Warm imagery, slow pacing, predictable rhythm. Fire still works, even in memory. Imagine this. The sun has fully disappeared. The world is dark, wide, and quiet. But in the center of the night, there is fire. Not a roaring blaze, not chaos, just a steady, breathing flame. For ancient humans, this fire was not just warmth, it was psychological safety. And tonight we explore why the human brain relaxes when fire is nearby, and how this ancient habit still lives inside you. The night was dangerous, but the fire changed everything. For early humans, night was the most dangerous time. Predators hunted in darkness. Vision was limited. Sounds became threats. The brain stayed alert, always scanning. But something magical happened when fire entered the picture. Fire created a circle of safety. Animals avoided it. Shadows became visible. The unknown became known. This changed how the brain behaved. Anthropologists believe fire lowered nighttime vigilance, meaning the brain could finally relax. This wasn't just comfort. This was survival-level calm. Fire as the first security system before doors, before walls, before locks. There was fire. Fire worked like an ancient alarm system. It scared predators. It lit up faces and movements. It gave humans control over darkness. The brain recognized this pattern quickly. When fire was present, danger dropped. When danger dropped, stress hormones dropped. Cortisol went down. Heart rate slowed. Breathing deepened. Sound familiar? That's the same state your body enters before sleep today. Why the brain loves soft flickering light. Here's something fascinating. Firelight doesn't stay still. It flickers slowly, gently. This matters. Modern neuroscience shows that slow, rhythmic visual patterns calm the nervous system. Fire produces low-frequency light, gentle movement, warm color tones. All three signal no emergency to the brain. Your ancestors stared into flames for hours, and during those hours the brain learned, this light means safety. That lesson never left. The parasympathetic switch. Inside your body are two main modes: fight or flight, rest and digest. Fire flipped the switch. When ancient people gathered around a fire at night, the parasympathetic nervous system activated. That's the system responsible for relaxation, digestion, repair, sleep readiness. This is why people still feel sleepy near fireplaces, candles, or campfires. It's not nostalgia, it's biology. Sleeping near fire changed sleep quality. Early humans didn't sleep deeply like we do today. They slept in cycles: light sleep, brief waking, then sleep again. Fire helped stabilize this pattern. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer tribes show fewer panic awakenings, more synchronized group sleep, faster return to sleep after waking. Fire acted like a night anchor. Even when someone woke up, the flame said, "You're safe, go back to sleep." Fire and social calm. Another powerful effect of fire was social bonding. Around fire, people shared food, told stories, spoke softly, stayed close. This reduced loneliness, a major stress trigger. The brain equates togetherness with safety. So fire didn't just calm individuals, it calmed the group mind. This created deeper emotional security before sleep. And emotional security is one of the strongest sleep aids known to humans. Why silence plus fire was the perfect sleep formula. Fire didn't create silence. It created soft sound, crackling, popping, low, irregular noise. This masked dangerous sounds. Your brain didn't need to react to every twig snap in the dark. Modern sleep science calls this sound masking. White noise machines work for the same reason. Your brain learned, if the fire sound is steady, nothing is wrong. So sleep came easier. Fire trained the brain to let go. One of the hardest things for the brain is letting go of control. At night, control feels dangerous, but fire gave early humans controlled light. They didn't fear darkness anymore, they managed it, and control reduces anxiety. This allowed the brain to release vigilance, something essential for deep rest. The ancient night ritual night wasn't random. It followed a rhythm: sunset, gathering, firelighting, eating, stories, silence. Sleep fire marked the transition from activity to rest. Today, screens have replaced that ritual, but the brain still expects a warm, low-light signal to prepare for sleep. Without it, sleep struggles. Your brain still remembers. You may live in a modern home, but your brain is ancient. It still responds to warm light, flicker, soft sound, close safety. That's why candles feel calming. That's why campfires make you sleepy. That's why fireplaces reduce anxiety. Your nervous system is responding to a 300,000-year-old memory. What this means for you tonight. You don't need a real fire, but you can recreate the signal: warm light, low brightness, slow rhythm, soft sound. Your brain understands that language. It always has. And as you listen, as your breathing slows, as your body settles, your mind is doing what it learned long ago, resting near the fire. Now imagine the fire has burned lower, the flames are smaller, the light is softer, most of the group has gone quiet. This is the moment when ancient humans drifted into sleep. But their sleep was not empty. It was filled with dreams, and those dreams were shaped by fire. Tonight we explore how sleeping near fire changed the way early humans dreamed, and why your dreams may still be influenced by the same ancient signals. Slow your breathing as you listen, let your shoulders relax, and allow your mind to wander gently, just like it did thousands of years ago. Ancient sleep was lighter, but more meaningful. Early humans did not sleep like modern people. There were no sealed rooms, no thick walls, no complete darkness. Instead, sleep came in waves: light sleep, brief waking, then sleep again. This pattern allowed the brain to stay aware while still resting. Fire played a key role here. The soft glow kept the environment visible even during sleep. This reduced fear-based awakenings. Instead of waking in panic, the brain stayed calm enough to slip into dreams, and those dreams were vivid. Why firelight affected dream content. Firelight is warm, moving, and alive. The brain responds to movement even when the eyes are closed. That gentle flicker passed through eyelids and reached the visual system. Neuroscientists believe this low-level stimulation encouraged dream imagery, not sharp dreams, not chaotic dreams, but flowing, symbolic dreams. dreams filled with animals, ancestors, journeys, and stories. Fire gave the brain just enough stimulation to dream without stress. Dreams as nighttime learning. For ancient humans, dreams were not entertainment. They were information. Dreams help the brain practice survival scenarios, process fear safely, strengthen memory, understand social bonds. Fire allowed these dreams to happen in a calm emotional state. That matters, because the brain learns best when it feels safe. Fear dreams happened away from the fire. Insight dreams happened near it. Fire and the emotional brain. Deep inside your brain is the limbic system. This area controls emotion and memory. Firelight calmed this system. When emotions settle, dreams become clearer. Less panic, less chaos, more meaning. That's why many ancient cultures believed fire was connected to visions and wisdom. They were observing the brain at work. Why nightmares were less common. Near fire, fear thrives in darkness. Fire reduced darkness. When the brain senses danger, dreams turn threatening. But when fire was present, the brain felt protected, so dreams softened. Modern research shows that people sleep more peacefully with a small, warm light source than in total darkness. Your brain still prefers a hint of safety. Group sleep and shared dreaming. Ancient people slept together, not just for warmth, but for psychological security. Hearing breathing, feeling presence, seeing fire. This reduced isolation. Isolation increases stress hormones. Stress hormones increase nightmares. Fire and community together reduced both. Some anthropologists believe early humans discussed dreams the next morning. This strengthened memory and emotional processing. Dreams were shared stories, not private fears. Fire as a boundary between worlds. Many ancient cultures believed fire stood between waking life and dreams, not because of superstition, but because fire marked the transition. When the fire was lit, the day ended. When it faded, sleep deepened. The brain used this signal to switch modes. Even today, your brain looks for a transition ritual before sleep. Without it, sleep feels restless. Modern brains, ancient patterns. Your dreams still respond to light. Bright blue light disrupts dreaming. Warm, dim light supports it. That's why screens disturb sleep. They don't match the ancient fire pattern. Your brain expects warmth and softness at night. When it doesn't get that, dreams become fragmented. Why campfire nights feel different. Have you ever noticed this? When you sleep after sitting by a campfire, your dreams feel deeper, more visual, more memorable, more emotional. That's not imagination. Your brain recognizes the environment. It thinks it's home. Fire, memory, and storytelling. Ancient humans told stories near fire before sleep. Stories blended into dreams. This strengthened memory. The brain doesn't separate story and dream very well. Fire helped merge them. That's why storytelling before sleep still works today. It prepares the dreaming brain. What this means for your sleep tonight. You don't need to remember your dreams. You don't need to control them. You just need to feel safe. Warm light, quiet sound, gentle rhythm. Your brain knows what to do. It has practiced this for thousands of years. As you rest now, imagine a small fire nearby. Not hot, not loud, just steady. Let your thoughts soften. Let images come and go. This is how humans have dreamed for most of history. As the night grew deeper, the fire became quieter. The flames slowed. The sparks faded. The warmth remained. This was the moment when something powerful happened inside the ancient body. Breathing changed, heartbeats softened, sleep rhythms aligned. Tonight, we explore how fire did more than calm the mind. It synchronized the entire body. Before we continue, take a slow breath in through your nose, hold it gently, and breathe out through your mouth. Good. Now let's go back in time. Ancient sleep followed the fire's rhythm. Fire is not constant. It breathes. The flame rises, then falls, brightens, then dims. Ancient humans subconsciously matched this rhythm. Their breathing slowed as the fire slowed. Their heart rate followed the same pattern. This is called biological entrainment. When the body syncs with an external rhythm, fire was the original sleep metronome. Breathing near fire became deeper. Warm air rises. Sitting near fire warms the chest and airways. This naturally encourages slower, deeper breaths. Deeper breathing sends a signal to the brain. You are safe. You can rest. The nervous system shifts from alert mode to recovery mode. This is the same system activated by modern breathing exercises. Ancient humans didn't practice breath work. The fire did it for them. Heart rate and firelight studies show that soft rhythmic light lowers heart rate. Firelight flickers slowly, not sharply, not suddenly. The heart responds by slowing down. A slower heart rate is essential for deep sleep. Without it, the body stays half awake. Fire helped ancient hearts rest before sleep even began. The parasympathetic switch. Inside your body are two systems. One prepares you for action. The other prepares you for rest. Fire activated the rest system. Warmth on the skin, soft light in the eyes, steady sound in the ears. All of these told the brain to switch modes. Modern life often forgets this switch. Ancient life depended on it. Why silence alone was not enough, total. Silence can make the brain alert. The mind listens harder. Fire created gentle sound, crackling, popping, soft movement. This masked distant threats without eliminating awareness. The brain could relax without losing vigilance. This balance is ideal for sleep. Group breathing and shared calm. Ancient people slept together. When one person slowed their breathing, others followed. This is called social synchronization. Fire strengthened it. The group calmed as one. This reduced anxiety and increased sleep depth. Even today, people sleep better with calm background sounds. Your brain remembers shared rhythm. Fire and sleep cycles. Ancient sleep had phases. Light sleep near the fire, deeper sleep as the fire faded, brief waking as embers glowed. This matched natural sleep cycles, not forced, not artificial. Fire guided sleep without controlling it. Why modern sleep feels disconnected. Bright lights stay constant. Air stays cold. Noise is sharp and unpredictable. The body struggles to find rhythm. Without rhythm, sleep becomes shallow. This isn't weakness, it's biology. How your body still responds. If you dim the lights and warm the room, your breathing slows. If you listen to steady sounds, your heart relaxes. If you feel safe, sleep deepens. These responses are ancient. They come from thousands of nights near fire. The illusion of control. Ancient humans did not force sleep. They allowed it. Fire prepared the body. Sleep followed naturally. Modern people try to control sleep, but sleep happens best when invited. A simple visualization. As you listen now, imagine gentle warmth on your chest. Imagine your breathing slowing. In, out, no effort, just rhythm. Your heart follows. Your muscles soften. Your body knows this pattern. It has lived it before. Fire as the original sleep teacher. Before science, before medicine, before technology. Fire taught humans how to rest. It showed the body when to slow down. It showed the mind when to let go. That lesson still lives inside you. The fire is almost gone now. Only warm embers remain. Soft light, gentle heat, quiet breathing. This is where the ancient night always ended. Not with darkness, but with calm. Tonight, we bring everything together, not as history, but as something still alive inside you. Before we begin, take one slow, deep breath, in through your nose, Hold for a moment and release through your mouth. Good. Now listen. Sleep was never separate from life. Ancient people did not prepare for sleep. Sleep prepared them. Fire, community, darkness, and quiet worked together. There was no alarm clock, no pressure, no fear of tomorrow. Sleep was a natural continuation of the day. Your brain still expects this. The brain remembers fire. Your nervous system evolved around warmth and rhythm. It learned safety from glowing light. It learned calm from steady sound. It learned rest from shared presence. That memory never disappeared. It only became buried under modern noise. Why you feel drawn to warmth at night. Warm showers, blankets, soft lamps. This is not comfort seeking. This is memory. Your body is trying to recreate the conditions that once allowed it to sleep deeply. Why harsh light feels wrong at night. Bright white light tells the brain it is daytime. Ancient nights never looked like that. Firelight was soft, uneven, alive. Your eyes, hormones and thoughts respond better to gentleness. Why safety is the foundation of sleep. Ancient humans slept best when they felt protected. Fire kept predators away. Groups provided reassurance. Your brain still asks one question before sleep. Am I safe? If the answer is unclear, sleep stays shallow. Modern sleep problems are not personal failures. You're not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. It waits for signals of safety, warmth, rhythm, and quiet. When those signals are missing, it stays alert. Understanding this changes everything. What you can gently take from the past. You don't need a fire, you need reminders. Warm light at night, steady background sound, a calm breathing rhythm, a feeling of presence, even if alone. Small changes speak loudly to the brain. Sleep happens when you stop chasing it. Ancient humans never tried to sleep. They allowed the environment to guide them. When the body feels ready, sleep arrives on its own. Effort pushes sleep away. Permission invites it closer. A final visualization. Imagine sitting near a quiet fire. The warmth touches your hands. Your breathing slows without effort. The world feels distant. You are not alone. Nothing is required of you. This feeling is older than language. Why this knowledge matters. Not to change your life, not to optimize sleep, but to remove pressure. To remind you that rest is natural. Your body already knows how to do it. As this series ends, from fire to breathing, from warmth to rhythm, from ancient nights to modern minds, the story comes full circle, and now it rests. If you are still awake, that is okay. If sleep comes, let it come. If not, simply stay calm. The night is patient, and so are you. Good night.